Hello and welcome to our new podcast on the protection of intellectual property rights in China. We're happy to have Jim with us today. Hi Jim and welcome.
Hi Leonardo, thanks a lot for having me today.
Thank you for joining us. In today's episode, we'll focus on the enforcement of intellectual property rights in China.
That's a very interesting subject. So what would be the most important characteristics of Chinese jurisdiction when it comes to IPR enforcement?
Well, the types of IPR available in China are similar to those available in Europe, namely invention patents, utility patents, design patents, and trademarks. Copyright can also be recorded. In all cases, the first step is to register the IP rights that your company wishes to protect. Then it is important to put in place procedures to monitor trade fairs, online sellers, and any other areas where infringing products might be sold or marketed. If you find out about infringements on the internet, trade fairs, or through other sources, you should immediately take action.
Okay, that's very clear, but what measures can SMEs actually take if they discover that their IPR has been infringed?
Well, first, you must make sure to obtain notarized proof of the infringement by use of a Chinese notary public. Otherwise, Chinese courts will not accept it as evidence. Afterward, you have 6 different options in China to enforce your rights. 1, negotiations, then you have administrative actions, customs seizures, notice and takedown procedures, civil litigations, and finally, criminal sanctions.
That's very interesting, but could you maybe give a few more details about these different options?
Sure. Well, for the first one, negotiations might be the most straightforward way to make the infringer stop infringing. In this case, you can try to make a deal with the infringer yourself. During such negotiations, it is extremely important to have notarized proof of the infringement. Otherwise, the procedure will be very difficult. An example of this can be the sending of a cease and desist letter. As for administrative actions, administrative bodies can be called to help with an infringement, which usually is a fast and cost-effective way of dealing with trademark infringements, but might be more complicated when it comes to patents. As for the third options, custom controls in general will also proactively enforce trademarks registered with them. Notice and takedown procedures refer to products offered on online platform. If these platforms are notified about the IPR infringement, they are obliged to take down the links to the infringing websites and sellers. Finally, civil litigation refers to a court case, which is the most complicated option of IPR enforcement.
Many thanks. And what about those criminal sanctions that you had mentioned before?
Well, when it comes to patents, criminal sanctions are also applicable if forged patent certificates have been created. With regard to trademarks or copyrights, criminal procedures could be started when certain thresholds are met in case of manufacturing or selling of counterfeits, or in case of forging or selling unauthorized representations of a trademark.
And is there anything else that an SME should be aware about during these procedures?
Well, in any court case, may it be civil or criminal, it is important that the claimant follows up with the court in order to enforce the judgment in case the defendant does not comply. Do not forget, it is incredibly important to have your rights registered in China. An infringement of a trademark registered only in Europe will be impossible to enforce in China.
Well, thanks very much for that, Leo, and thanks for all the information. For more details on IPR enforcement in China and what to do in case you find out that your product has been counterfeited, go to www.china-iprhelpdesk.eu and download all of our free guides.
Precisely. You can also send a direct question to our experts via email at question@china-iprhelpdesk.eu.
To be updated about our newest materials and upcoming events, you can follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn, or subscribe to our monthly newsletter.
Thank you for listening and stay tuned for our next episode.